Hello, everybody. Welcome to Social Media Best Practices for Bowling Centers. We're glad you're here. We hope that we can share some information with you, and maybe you can share some with us. A few things, housekeeping-wise. Hold up your cell phones. Hold up your iPads. This is an interactive session. We want you to use your iPhones, and we want you to use your iPads. We would like for you to silence them, but we really want you to use these. The first thing I want you to do is, if you have a Facebook page or a Foursquare, we want you to check in and say that you're here, or tweet it. Does anybody in the room have a Twitter account? Who in here uses Facebook? Who in here uses Foursquare? We've got a few. Okay. Well, good. We want you to check in if you have a Facebook page. The Social Media Committee with the BPAA has a Facebook page that we would like you to follow. You can do it now or you can do it later. Our Facebook page is, I'm kind of jumping around, I'm sorry. Our Facebook page is the BPAA social media page. Is that the name of the group? It's a group. You have to ask to join. Once you ask to join, one of our moderators will allow you to join. This is just a group that we share ideas between each other for bowling centers. There's no people in this group that are not bowling related, so it's all going to be bowling information. Today we're going to be taking questions via Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, you can use the hashtag BowlingGoesSocial in your tweet, and those questions will go on Mandy's wall, and she will answer those questions through Twitter and also during the session. If you don't have Twitter, we have Colin on the microphone back there. Just raise your hand if you have a question, and he will definitely come to you, and we would like you to state your questions on microphone so everyone can hear you. I'm Robin Williams. I am with Holiday Lanes in Bossier City, Louisiana. I handle the marketing and the social media for our bowling center. I'm not the best in the world, but I have a little bit of knowledge that I can share with you. This is my page, Bowl Holiday Lanes. It's actually facebook.com/Holiday Lanes Bowl. And as you can see, we have our cover page. Now, my page has not changed to the new format, but it will eventually. Everybody has a brochure that they got as they walked in the door, right? This is a brochure that can give you some guidelines on how to set up your own Facebook page if you haven't set one up already. With the new changes that Facebook made, there are some changes that are going to be evident, but you'll be able to work your way through it, and we always are here for questions if you would like to ask us questions. Yeah, I want to go to the statistics. So we had a raise of hands. Is there I'm not going to ask that question. I don't want to embarrass anybody. There may be people in the room that don't have any social media presence at all. And so it's important to find out what that one. Yeah, that would be great. So if you have questions about which social media platforms you should be using, here's a great graph that tells you 1.15 billion people are using Facebook. So Facebook is really a good place to start if you don't have any social media presence at all. Google has 359 million users. Twitter has 215 million. Instagram has 150 million. Pinterest has 20 million. And Reddit has 2 million. So these are like the top 6 places you could start if you don't have a social media presence at all. Okay, the next one. Yeah, this is great. Social media, I'm sorry, I'm a little stuck here. These are just some stats that can kind of tell you about social media. There's 5 million people. Carrie, you want to help me with this one? The 5 million?
Yeah, go next slide.
Yeah. I apologize. We have some statistics here that we can talk about social media and why you should be on it. Here we go. Sorry about that. So why is it important to use social media? Well, Facebook has 1.2 billion users every day. That's a lot of users. If you have a Facebook page, you have the potential to be, you probably won't reach 1.2 million users, but there's a possibility that you could definitely hit some of those people. 180 million people in the United States use Facebook every day. 64% visit the site daily. And you can read all these statistics, but one that's really important that I see is 4.8 million people already like bowling. So if they're following bowling, those keywords bowling are going to really be something that people are interested in, and they might come across your site and follow your page. Twitter has 8 million users, accounts, and 215 million people are actively using Twitter. So if you feel like Twitter is a place that you want to be, definitely want to get on there. Now, who in here thinks they do not have any social media presence on Yelp at all? Anybody? Does anybody have a Yelp page? Do you know what Yelp is? Yelp is a review site where people go and they talk about your business. They give you reviews. Who in here does have a Yelp page? Okay. So you actively go and you put information about your business on Yelp. Yelp is a place where people can say, oh, what do I want to do tonight? I'm going to go look on Yelp. And they're going to look for a bowling center. And they're going to say, oh, I found this bowling center. Okay, for those of people who said they did not have a Yelp, guess what? You do. You have a Yelp page. Even though you are not managing that page, people are out there talking about your business on Yelp and Yahoo and many other of the review sites that you didn't really even know you had. So what I would recommend is go to Yelp and type in a search of your bowling center and see what people are saying about you. You might be surprised. You might have people talking really good about you, but you might also have people talking bad about you. So it's really important for you to claim your Yelp pages, which we can talk to you about how to do that later, and find out what people are saying about you, because just because you think you don't have a social media presence, you really do. People are talking about you every day. They're giving you reviews. They're giving you ratings. And so it's important to know that even though you don't think you have a presence, you definitely do. TripAdvisor is the same thing. TripAdvisor, people go in there, they give reviews about your bowling center or family entertainment center, and you don't even realize that you have an opportunity right there to respond to people's reviews and things like that. So, okay, I want to introduce the panel. We have a quick video. You know, one thing that we talk about is in social media is YouTube. And this is a video I wanted to share with you that we at Holiday Lanes, I'm going to let it go, and I'll talk about it. Okay, so this is just a video, and it seems like just a video, but when you plug this into a YouTube page or your Facebook page or even tweet it on your video, it becomes a way for you to market your business in a different kind of way. The video is very powerful for social media, being able to get that word out in YouTube and sharing it on Facebook, and it's just one way that you might think about using video in your social media. I wanted to introduce our panel.
Let me interrupt for a minute. I'm Reggie Frederick from Tacoma. One of the things that Robin brought up earlier today in another session is make sure that you as a person, that are going to be linked into your center page, make sure that you share that on your own personal page, because now you're getting two hits. You're getting people who just like your bowling center, and you have people who are your friends. And so you're kind of doubling your pleasure at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through and introduce the panelists and show their Facebook pages. This is Reggie Frederick. He's from Chalet Bowl in Tacoma, Washington, and here is his Facebook page. And I'll give him a minute to just kind of talk to you about his Facebook page.
Good morning. I am Reggie Frederick from Tacoma, Washington. I happen to share social media, and it's great to have all here today. And we have a 12-lane bowling center and a population of our town of 200,000 people. We have way too many lane beds for my particular city. We are the oldest center in the state. We're in our 72nd year, but you wouldn't know it when you walked in there. We spent about $600 grand in the last 5-6 years updating. We've been updating for the past 30 years. We only have 12 lanes, and here you see our cover page. And our daughter-in-law changes that about once a month, something different. We want to see some interaction. We're showing the bowl. If you'd slide back down just for a minute. Our photo is of our sign outside, and is basically the colors of my shirt that I'm wearing right now, that we've had a brand new sign put on there. So again, we change this up all the time. We have 1,318 likes, which isn't too bad. We'll talk in a bit. We're going to stop it right there. How many of you always put something up saying that come bowl tonight, or it's ladies' night, or we're doing a 9-pin no-tap tournament? Something like that. Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you throw up a screenshot like this of one of your customers that did something great? This was Sunday night. The bowler shot a 300 game. And so I found that out when I was here. I put a screenshot up of someone who did it on her own personal page. I put it up. He did it during a parent-child league. And as of this morning, that particular screenshot got 485 likes, or views, I should say. So my point is, whenever we do a screenshot of something, it's always 2 to 3 to 4 times the amount of views that we get if we happen to show that we're doing a special event. So it's kind of interaction. People like the pictures more than they like what you're trying to promote. Okay? Thank you. I'll pass it on.
Okay. Our next panelist, are we going to Pam?
Sure.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was who we were going to next. We are going to go to Pam DeMarsh. She's with she's with Wow Zone in Mankato, Minnesota. Is that right? Minnesota? MN? I don't know my geography. And she's going to we have her Facebook page up, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about her page.
All right. Pam DeMars with the Wow Zone in Mankato. We're about a 50,000 community, but with 3 colleges. So when college is in session, that grows tremendously. We are in our 6th year as a family entertainment center. We have a 12-lane facility called Victory Bowl, which we've had in business for over 40 years. But we ended up building a new facility 6 years ago because the space we were on didn't have the footprint to be able to grow a bigger building. So we had to build one. And this is our Facebook page, which I'll speak a little bit later about this. But what I just want to say is thank you for coming to this session, because 2 years ago, my involvement with social media was zip. I went to Bowl Summit in San Antonio, knowing that my social media needed a lot of help. And I walked down the hallways and saw the various committees, and I want to thank this committee. They let me walk in and join them. So I would just encourage you, after this session this week, think about getting engaged, maybe on a committee that you want to know something more about. This is what's helped me to even get to where I'm at today. And the biggest thing that I'll be speaking about is how we got to our 4,000 likes and where we were when we started. So again, we have a 24 lanes, 16 regular lanes, 8 are boutique. We have a full laser tag, 2-level laser tag arena. We have golf, mini golf. We've got arcade. We've got a sports bar, restaurant, snack bar. So in that 40,000 feet, there's a lot going on, and this helps us to get the word out.
Okay. Our next speaker is Kerry Tasello. He's with eball.biz, I'm sorry, and he's going to talk to you. Here's his page on the screen here. Go ahead.
Thanks, Robin. Kerry Tasello. I currently live near Bend, Oregon. Former proprietor. I had 2 centers in California. eball.biz started about 10 years ago, and we work with bowling centers in more than 30 states doing Facebook, text messaging, websites, and email marketing campaigns. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of those details as we move along.
And then we have Mandy Hawes. She's from Sooner Bowl in Norman, Oklahoma. And we'll give a second to get her page up on the screen and talk to you about her. She's doing multiple tasks here, so we have to... Carrie didn't talk very much. We'll give her a second to get her page up.
Jeez Louise. I'm pulling double duty here. It's not going. I'm Mandy Hawes. Our center is Sooner Bowling Center in Norman, Oklahoma, which is a college town of probably about 100,000 at the moment. And we are currently the only bowling center in town, but that's getting ready to change. And that's a little bit about what I'll talk about in my presentation. But we're getting ready to have a nice, brand new, pretty competitor come into town. We're celebrating 30 years this year, as my in-laws have owned the business for 30 years. So in thinking about, that 30-year marketing plan and how you want to really capitalize on that, I started out at the beginning of the year completely switching everything up with social media. So that's a little bit of what I will talk about. Can I go back and show that one video?
Yeah, definitely.
There's a video that we all love that just really exemplifies the impact that social media has in our world today. And we really wanted to share that with you all.
Okay. Before I go a little further, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this committee. Its charge was to help centers form some sort of social media in your centers. And while there's lots of platforms you can use for social media, we kind of focus on Facebook only because that's the biggest one being used right now. And so we definitely want you to try any platform that you like, but we're kind of talking more about Facebook. Are there any questions so far, that anybody has about anything about social media that you would like to be addressed today?
What was the title of the video?
The title of the video,
It's by Eric Coleman, and I love the stuff that he does. But if you go on YouTube and search social media or social media economics, He has several, so you have to search the year 2014, because if you go back and look, it changes very rapidly, as you might guess. But it's just a video on YouTube. And I love that because I think it's staggering.
And remember, you can also tweet questions using hashtag #BowlingGoesSocial. If you have any questions, we'll get to those at the end. I did want to now go over to let Pam. She has a little presentation she wanted to talk to you about. You just want to let her.
Okay. Again, we were talking about Facebook mostly here, but what I really want to do as the slides go through, the slides basically tell the story of our Facebook. My story is really about how I got to this, recognizing I am not the expert. So one of my probably strongest message to you is, if you don't have the right person on site in your business to do this, please look for help. Again, you can maybe just go through to the next slide, and we'll keep going here on the next slide. When I started really getting engaged in the social media piece, this is where I was at in October. So in 7 months, basically, you're going to see how we got to that 4,000 like and the excitement around that and how I got there. Up to this point, I had hired a person to work in our business to do this social media, get us going. It was a young person just out of college, and I loved him. He was awesome. But as you can suspect, I wasn't able to keep him. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. I had him for a year, and he did a great job. But what do you think happened when he left? It fell apart. So everything he did in that year, there wasn't anyone to keep it going. There wasn't someone else who was kind of there working with him on this. So when he left, everything stalled. And then it was really starting all over again. So what I ended up doing is engaging with a local organization who has helped me now get back up and running. They actually did our website. I have a new website as part of this process. I recognized I had to spend a little bit of money to do this. I also felt that what they did was worth it. If we're not engaged enough or feeling it's important enough, willing to spend a little money to do whatever we need to do to get into social media, I felt I was making the wrong mistakes. And I can now tell you that I'm glad I did this. It has definitely helped our business and has gotten us in that ground. This company has helped me as a partner. The mistake I made in letting someone run with it, I'm not going to do that again. We are now in partnership. And I have one of my senior managers who's engaged with them in this. And I also have a new manager that we've hired who is just getting out of school. She happens to be one who is coming in as a manager and planning to stay with us and wants to do this as we move forward. Again, my plan being, I'm not going to just let that happen again, what happened with my first person. We're going to keep this social media group or whoever I decide we're working with continue to be part of our team. I'll still have my senior manager, and then I'll have my new manager, and as a team, we're going to keep this going because it's not now going to be in the hands of just one person.
Hey, Pam, can I interrupt? How many of you out there are doing your own social media? Okay. And how many of you have a designated person who does your social media for you? So, about half and half. Okay, I was just interested. Yes. Wait, Colin, could you hold on 1 second? There you go.
When you say team, do you think it's a good idea to have a team do your social media or just one individual?
Well, personally for me, I'm taking a team focus because I got burnt on the other. And if one person leads, it's like anything. I don't think it's good one person knows how to do everything.
Right. So do you think are you going to have like a guidebook or any kind of rules, regulations? This is what can be posted. This is what cannot be posted.
Absolutely, and this team is going to know, we meet every Monday morning for an hour. And we look at what's going on in the future, in the next week or two, and make our plans. And somebody mentioned earlier about a calendar, or maybe that was another session. We have planned out for a month what we're going to be doing and tweeting and when, or Facebooking on what's coming up. But this team together, yes, well, we have our rules and regulations. We're a family entertainment center. We're very careful about what we put out there.
Right.
So absolutely. But as a team, if one of those legs leave, I can still keep operating. And I feel that, again, it's just something I learned from having that one person. So that would probably be my question. Has anyone experienced what I did? You have one person doing it and they left, and you had to start over. I'm surprised there's only a few hands, but that's good.
There is a suggestion that whenever you set up your page, you do have one person who is either the owner or the general manager who is the administrator, and put everyone else as editors. That way, if they leave, they can't change your page, they can't lock you down. Not saying that they would, but in the event that they left under not the best circumstances, they can't hijack your page. So it's best to have like the owner or person who you know is not going to be able to walk away with your page, and have them administrators, and then have everyone else as editors. And it's important, I think, when you have a team, I think everybody has different ways of doing things. Some people can't do a whole team, but it's important that you have the same voice when you're posting on your social media sites, so that everybody knows the game plan for your social media page. You want to all sound kind of the same and promote the same message. You don't want to have a different message coming from different people. Yes, Amy in the back.
I had heard from a proprietor that they just like Pam had an issue, they got their page up and running, and then all of a sudden that person left. But it took them 2 months to get their page back from Facebook. So, I think it's really important that people understand, like in my case, your page is linked to a person. A business just can't have a page. It has to be linked to a person. So even if you're not a social media tech person, you don't know anything about it, you can create a page and have it. Okay. And then the business is linked to your page, so then you will always have the rights to that. It's very, very important that even if you're not going to do it or administer it, that you actually have the rights to your business page linked to your personal page. Yeah, and that way it can't leave you.
And Carrie's going to show us how to lock your page down early, in part of the presentation, so that's good. Is there any other questions about that aspect of Facebook? Okay, we'll let Pam.
With this process, we got to our 4,000 likes. We were able to do a fun thing with it, and the person who won got a wonderful gift. And putting that out there with the gift, what they got, similar to something said earlier, when you post fun things like that, you get all the shares and the likes again because of that. So it's been a good experience for me, and that's why I wanted to just share with you today. And I'm asked to be up here, even though I'm not techie, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I know when to bring in people who are. So that would be my message, and thank you.
And Pam, I think that is a good point. None of us on the stage are, maybe Carrie is, I don't know, but none of us on the stage are experts, because social media changes every single day. If you think you're an expert, then you're fooling yourself, because there's no way to know everything about social media. It changes so much every day. So we will go with, who are we going with next? Oh, yes, a question in the back.
Hi, Pam. Aside from the employee time, did you have a budget set for growing all those likes?
Yes, I did. Right now, I'm spending $500 a month. Probably a little more than what I wanted to spend. I think I'm going to be able to reduce that maybe in the next year, but I've committed $500 a month for the first year.
Advertising on Facebook?
Yeah, well, no, that's really my whole... Okay, the question was how much did I invest in doing my social media piece? So when I look at social media now as a whole, this isn't just Facebook. And it's my website. So if you think about that I really felt that I got a good deal on my website. So basically for $6,000 a year, I have a new website. I have the support through this organization that I'm working with right now. I do think, though, in the year ahead, I can do some of it on my own as I learn more, but I'm still going to stay engaged with them but it will still cost me some money to stay engaged with them. I'm okay with that. But just that's the amount that I've spent to do this, social media.
Did you actually say, besides hiring an agency, what the agency did to get all the likes? I know real quickly you said there was a prize, but you didn't really say how.
I really didn't say what they did because of time, but what I would tell you is we meet every Monday for an hour, and the biggest reason we have, I think, what's happening is the engagement. We all know engagement is the answer. This organization is helping get the engagement with fun pictures, it isn't always about selling something, so they did a really good job with us there, and we did it together as a team.
Yes, right here in the front.
What about contacting some of your local colleges and using a college student as a intern? Trying to keep your costs down without going to hiring somebody. I mean, we do have that. However, what about this younger generation, the kids that are in college? You had mentioned your one person left. Is a college area a good route to go? I mean,
yes. I'll answer that one because I have a liberal arts college 8 blocks from me, and you can go to their business program, find the head professor, and they will do this for free. They will help you with social media. They'll help you with a business plan if you don't have a business plan. Or anything for our shopping district, they've done that. Colin, we're going to move on. We're going to try and save questions for a little bit later down the road. We want to get through some more stuff.
Yep. Okay, so now Carrie is going to talk to us a little bit about Facebook ads and promotions.
Okay, thank you, Robert. I'll talk a little bit about ads and boosted posts. How many here are using ads or boosted posts? You're paying Facebook. Okay, not enough of you. The rest of you will eventually here. Let's skip that one. And so the cost is something was out on the web about the cost of an ad, and people are concerned about how effective the Facebook ad is. Facebook ads can reach as many people or more than you can reach on radio or TV. They have very sophisticated targeting. You can spend as little as $1 a day. So you start off with $1 a day. It's not a lot of money to get started. And historically, they have the lowest costs per 1,000 impressions of any type of advertising we've done in the past history. You can see that up on the graph. Right now, Facebook estimates about 15% of the people will see your posts. So if you have 1,000 fans of your page, 150 of them on average might see your content. The other 850 do not see your content. That's because there's so much content out there. As Robin said, with over 1 billion people on Facebook, there's too much content. So they have an algorithm they use to determine how much of your content actually is shown to your fans. It's not all of it. It's a small portion. One way around that is using a boosted post or Facebook ads so you can have more people see the content, and that's the goal. You can have a beautiful page with great graphics. If people aren't seeing your content, it's a complete waste of time. So I'm going to show you a couple of posts with a boost and without a boost. So this one here has no boost to it, it's just posted. And down here at the bottom, the very, very bottom, you'll see 104 people saw this post. So it's Kids Bowl free, it's pretty popular, pretty well known. 104 people got to actually see that. Every post will have that at the bottom. So the next one's the same content, it's Kids Bowl free. 1,500 people saw that. Went from 100 to 1,500. And the difference between those two slides is $5. So we spent $5 for this center to put this out on more people. So you had 1,400 extra people see that for $5.
Yeah.
So there's two ways you can boost the post or run an ad. You can, specifically with boosting the post, at the bottom we'll have a little blue button where you can boost it. You can target all of your fans of your page and their friends, or you can specify where you want it to go. And I suggest use the second one. If you target your fans and their friends, those friends may live in a different state and be wasting your money. You can target by audience, location, in your market. You can target by age, what they're interested in. For example, bowling. You can target people who already like bowling, which is always a great thing to start with. And then you set the budget as low as $1 a day. One key thing to remember when you put a graphic up there, and I encourage you to always use graphics when you do a boosted post, Facebook will not let you promote that post if you have more than 20% text. in the graphic. In other words, if the graphic has a bunch of writing in it, if it takes up more than 20% of the actual area of the image, they will deny it. So make sure it's heavy on graphic and very light on text when you do that.
I had a post rejected yesterday because I had too much content on text content.
Even if your logo happens to have a bunch of graphic in it, it doesn't matter. If it's got more than 20% text inside the image you're using, they won't move. You can post it, but you won't be able to pay to promote it, which is a bummer. Doesn't really work. So this is off the insights report for a center we're working with. And you can see the bottom, the light colored area underneath is what we call organic. So that's putting posts up on your wall, not paying them. That's how much traffic they're getting. The dark colors will actually pay Facebook. So you can see that dramatic more people see, a dramatic increase in the number of people that are seeing your content. They're averaging about 1,500 people per day who are seeing some content from this bowling center. At the end of the month here, they decide, well, they're just going to save some money and just post themselves. So when they start posting themselves without doing paid service, you can see some days they had 0 people see content from the bowling center. They went from 1,500 a day average to 0 because they stopped paying. So Facebook really is pay to play. If you're not paying to play, you're getting very little results from that. And I'll show you where the insights are so you can see this. This first one up here is, this center is in Ohio, I believe, Eastland. It's a single column format. How many of you have your page changed to the new format? Raise your hand if you have the new format. Okay, the rest of you will. It's not an option. They're going to force you on you, so your page is going to look like this one. So it's going to have a very different look to it than what you had before. If you look up at the top, the cover picture has been changed a little bit. There's more of a bar area at the bottom. And so you might have to redo your cover picture because your profiles will stick up into that graphic more often. And it's also going to have the name of the center and whatever categories you put on are actually be pasted over the top of your graphic up there. So there's some changes to watch for with that. So some of the things that have been changed on the page now, on the far right, you'll see this little pop-up bar that says this week. They're going to give you your current stats right in front of you, tells you how many people are seeing your posts. This one has a reach of 2,400 right now on this page. At the very bottom, that little tab right there says messages. If people are trying to private message you, they're going to show up right there. So they're not hidden anymore. It's very important if people are sending you a private message, you've got to reply to them. Remember, these people are on the page every day in their page, and they assume that you are as well. If you don't reply, they think you're ignoring them, and you don't want to be that guy.
And that probably also helps their engagement with your page as well.
Absolutely.
So when they reach out to you, that's going to help have your posts on their page feed. So it's a good way to engage with people.
Yes. The last thing I'm going to show you is tabs have been moved. If we scroll back up to the top of the page up there, we're going to show you tabs. So the line underneath the cover picture, it says timeline, about, online reservations, kids bowl free. Those, after the word about, those other two are part of your tabs. Go to more where you were, and there's a pull-down window that comes up, manage tabs at the bottom. This allows you to determine which 2 tabs are shown right there. So that's how you move around the tabs are shown. When you put up your big play or whatever, you can drag these up and down, and the top 2 that you place in this little window will show up at the top of your page. Otherwise, Facebook will, I think by default, they show reviews and photos or something like that up there. That's all I have on that stuff on Insight. But definitely look at your insights, look at your reach, and do it regularly.
Oh, you said...
So one of the questions I get is how often, and I'm a geek, an old geek, how many times should you look at your page? That's really what it gets down to see what's happening. I say at least a minimum of 3 times a day. Maybe either when you get up, after the shower, or once you get to your bowling center, or whatever you're doing. If you're doing this by yourself, or in my case, my daughter-in-law is doing it, another one might be midday, another one would be, let's say, after dinner time. So at least 3 times a day, I look at it a lot more than that. Just because I want to see what's going on and try to get positive.
Yeah. And Carrie, you had said that you would show them how to change your administrators on your page. So let's do that.
Thank you, Rob. I forgot that. We mentioned earlier about administrators. There have been cases where you fire somebody and they take your page and they put things up there that you don't want them to do. And as I think Amy mentioned, it can be a struggle to get the page back. So we're going to settings, and then on the left-hand side, page roles. These are the people, the administrators on the page. Notice there's admins and there's editors. Admin owns the page. So if all your people on your page are admins, they own the page. They can put whatever they want on there. They can delete you from the page and make them the only administrator. They run the thing. So I highly recommend that the owner, proprietor, and possibly the general manager should be admins. Everybody else make them an editor, which means they can do everything except add and take people off as page roles. So editor for everybody else, you want to make sure an admin for the owner or maybe the general manager, because it's no fun if that ever happens to you.
Okay. Next, we're going to go to Reggie, and Reggie's going to talk about a little different part of social media that I know we've focused a little on Facebook, but he's got some other information.
We like to do a lot of fun things. We already talked about the screenshot that we did. Mandy, why don't you switch to the life of a sweep?
Oh, sure.
So we put in brand new pin setters, cubic MF pin setters 3 years ago. My daughter-in-law at Christmas from my son got a GoPro. How many of you have a GoPro? Okay. How many of you use it in your bowling center?
Oh, here it comes.
Okay, GoPro is basically a little camera that you can, you can put on your hat. You can attach it to a sweep. We put it in the gutter to watch the ball rolling down. Before it hits it, we pull it out of there. I'm involved with unlimited hydroplanes. We put it on the hydroplane to see how the boat's running. In this case, this is life of a sweep. 16 seconds. That's all it was. Allison put a little music in on it. So our normal views are 150 to maybe 250 or 300. That was 1,600 views. And it was shared by a lot of people. So something like that is fun. You can use your camera. Again, how many of you have iPhones or a smartphone? Raise your hand. You can do this in the back end. How many of you are doing remodeling right now? Okay. Mandy, this winter, God bless her, their bowling center, and they did their pool room and they did carpeting. She put that up there all the time. They were still shots, but they did it. You can go in the back end. Most of your people have never seen how a pin spotter works. Go in the back end, tape it for 30 seconds or 20 seconds so they get to see what it looks like. If you did what we did Out with the Old, which was a 20-second video on 8230 AMF machines, which they were 55 years old. And then 3 weeks after we had the new ones, in with the new. And we did that, a lot of views. We're going to do YouTube. So I go to a lot of movies, and this was about social media. This is the movie Chef. It's about 2.5 minutes, and then I'll talk about it. I may talk over it a bit.
Like it? Yeah. How do you look like this? Like the most important critic in the city.
This guy does a blog review.
On your own time. It's my restaurant. You threaten to fire me? I'll tell you what I'm prepared to do. If you don't cook my menu.
It's a good review now. His dramatic weight gain can only be explained by the fact that he must be eating all the food sent back to the kitchen.
You don't have to think wrong about you.
I know I can eat it.
Who cares?
I do. Because I could have done better. I should have cooked food that I was going to cook.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't do it. What are you writing?
Chef, that's not a good idea. Just listen.
He sends a tweet, and instead of a personal message, he sends it out to the whole world on accident.
It's out there now. So I'm going to take that back.
You hear that? It's out there now.
Dad, did you post anything since last night?
You gotta be kidding. Wow.
That's his 10-year-old son, Percy.
You're never going to be happy cooking for someone else.
Food trucks are great idea.
So he goes to Miami to rediscover himself.
Food truck is a blank canvas for your dreams. I'm going to have to pull it around.
Thank you. Don't think until you see it.
So what are you going to do?
You're gonna laugh. Tony, Carl's got a taco truck.
For real?
I was so just when I heard your voice, I was like, that's what I want to do.
It's not so spicy. Come on.
So the movie Chef is an indie film. It has nothing to do with bowling, but it has everything to do with social media. So here's the point. A couple of points. First of all, he was battling with a blogger after a bad review personally. And instead of personally, he throws it out there so the whole world sees it. So if you're going to message somebody, make sure you message them personally off of your site, unless you want the whole world to see it. He went to discover himself in Miami, and his son Percy is a whiz with the iPhone. And he posted snippets. Actually, he did snippets every day on Vine of 6-second snippets and put that out there to show what they were doing, getting this Cuban truck. And wherever they stopped, they started in Miami, then they went to New Orleans, then went to Austin. The kid, Percy, was tweeting and Facebooking and Vining their journey. So whenever they showed up somewhere, the place was packed. They did a phenomenal job, all off of what this 10-year-old kid did. So again, the moral of the story is think out of the box, be very proactive, brand your center different than others in your community brand your center. Okay, that's really the moral of the story. Oh, well, we already talked about the slide. Again, this is a nice screenshot. You can do screenshots. We run monthly 9-bit no-tap tournaments. I get more response when I have the customers who won the money and they're flashing the money fanned out like this. I get 500 to 600 views rather than just saying boldest 9-bit no-tap tournament. People like to see their friends. And again, remember, when you put it on your company page, make sure when it comes up on your page, you share that.
I want to point out, too, that I've looked at several Facebook pages, and it's really important that you share graphics, like Carrie said earlier. Nothing's worse than going through a page that's all text. It's heavy text. There's just words, words, words. Take pictures, and the best pictures are pictures of people. People like to tag themselves. They like to see themselves. They like to see themselves in your bowling center. Encourage people to take pictures at your center and post it on your page. You may even think about having a contest where you have the best birthday party of the month picture. You know, have people post pictures on your page. It's a really great way for people to get interactive with your page, and it increases the it increases your pages in their feeds. When people interact on your page, it starts showing more on their feeds. So,
and go along with that is when people share, the importance of having people like a comment or share a comment or comment on one of your posts that are up there is that changes the algorithm that Facebook uses. So you'll have more people who will see your content, the more active it is, because then Facebook determines, okay, that's an important post, we're going to share with more people. So you really want to post things that are get a reaction from people. If you're not getting a reaction, if there aren't likes, comments, or shares to your posts, post something else.
And in that moment, I want to post a picture of all of you on our social media page. So everybody wave at me. I'm going to take your picture, make it fun. Oh, y'all are not having fun. Come on, have fun. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to post that on our social media page, and you go tag yourself in that picture. So anyway, now Mandy is going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. She's signing in now, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about LinkedIn. Like I said, we've been talking mostly about Facebook, but there are lots of other platforms out there.
You want to stall?
Yeah, stall. Are there any? Oh, well, go ahead.
I'm short behind a computer, so I'm moving. It's not a good combination. Who here is on LinkedIn? Oh, come on. Who's on LinkedIn? Raise your hand. Who has a picture on LinkedIn? Keep your hands up if you are on LinkedIn. Who has a picture on LinkedIn? Okay, who's filled in their job descriptions, or their job, what you do, your employment? Good. What about your educational history? Good. Who has people who have suggested you or promoted you on LinkedIn? Good. I'm going to pick on Bart. I think that Facebook is really important. Obviously, that's the takeaway. We have a 24-lane center in Norman, Oklahoma. and it's our 30-year anniversary. So starting in about December, I started thinking about 30 years and a bowling center, and we're having this new fancy place come in, but I don't know what's going to happen. So I bit the bullet, and I would kind of like to back Pam up on hiring outside help if you can. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be fancy. But we had a nice little local boutique marketing firm in our town, and I knew the guy, and so we just got together over coffee one day, and he said, we can help you as much or as little as you want. And I like social media. I truly enjoy it. It's fun for me. I like it because I feel like we're bowling centers. And guys, I mean, we have built-in personality. We have got personality out the yin-yang in our bowling centers. I mean, we are fun. We want to be the place where people come have fun. Hello? You need to show people on Facebook that you're fun. And we've got personality. And so I love the engagement factor of Facebook and Twitter and social media. I love showing people our back ends, how machines work, how you can have fun in the center, that we're promoting leagues and doing all kinds of fun things. But that can only get you so far if you don't have the connections. And so I wanted to talk about LinkedIn a little bit because I feel like you really need to be on LinkedIn. If you don't do anything else, if you only do Facebook, Twitter, Yelp, and LinkedIn, which is kind of what we decided, you have to do that. So LinkedIn is super easy. If you can do Facebook, you can do LinkedIn, but you've got to build your profile. And so once you build your profile, I'm going to pick on Bart because he has a really good profile. So look, he's got a summary of experiences. See, he's got everything that he can do. Oh, there's a picture of him being on Bowling Center Management Magazine. That's cool. You've got to promote yourself on LinkedIn. This is don't be shy time. This is tell people why you're wonderful.
This is kind of like an online resume if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
I treat it that way.
From LinkedIn, and you can definitely make business-to-business connections on LinkedIn.
I use it as a way to remember things that I've accomplished in the business, and in the future, I don't have to go find a piece of paper that says when I did something.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And there's also this really cool app called LinkedIn Contacts, and so all the contacts that you make in LinkedIn, you can just pull directly from an app, and so that's a really great thing to do too. But he's got his high school in there. He's got lots of skills and endorsements, and I like this. And this cracks me up because sometimes you get skills and endorsements from people who don't really know that you're good at that, which is kind of funny, but I really don't care as long as they think that I'm good at it. I think that's great.
So let me ask you a question. As a person that is not on LinkedIn a whole lot, why would I want to put all that there?
I have a LinkedIn page, but I also have a company page. So there is the ability to have a company page and share our information to the community as my personal information, but also as a company page. So that's important to have. If you have a LinkedIn personal page, you probably want to have a business page as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Another reason to do this is because you're going to make contacts with other business and companies in your community. If you want to try and get a company party from a certain company, you want to try and have some of their events held at your center, you're having trouble getting through the gatekeeper to that person, if you get a hold of them on LinkedIn, because they're going to recognize the names and usually not going to say no to a friend request on LinkedIn, you have a direct contact to the person further up the tree of that corporation. We can talk to them back and forth on LinkedIn, so it's a great tool to get past the gatekeeper.
Yeah, and so what I did is I just did a quick search, because you can search people or companies, and so I just did a quick search, and you can start, if you know if there are businesses that you want to become involved with or you want to make connections, LinkedIn is a great way to do it. If you decide to pay, just do like the $20 premium one a month. It gives you a little bit more access. But I think LinkedIn is definitely something that you should be thinking about.
You could pull mine up if you wanted to. I have a company page. It's Holiday Lanes.
Okay.
It's you don't know. Yeah, don't worry about it.
So LinkedIn is great because it really gives you that ability to target the businesses. And I am going to ask you to spend about 30 minutes a week, at least, bare minimum, going through trying to build your contacts, trying to build your network. Spend a little time. It's going to be worth it. Some of the things that we decided to do this year for our 30-year anniversary is get everything up to date. Get everything consistent. I wanted a really consistent marketing plan. I wanted our website, our mobile site, our Facebook, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, and our Yelp. Does anybody know when you push your phone and say, you know, Siri, find me a bowling center? Does anybody know where that pulls from? Pulls from Yelp. So if you didn't need any more reason to update your Yelp page, Siri pulls from Yelp. So just a little tidbit. But I mean, we went through this whole process, and one of the things that I did 2 years ago, Kerry made the comment, I was in a seminar, and he said, why are you still advertising on Facebook, or on Yellow Pages? Does anybody still pay for a Yellow Pages ad? Kill it. Kill it.
Yeah, use that money somewhere else.
One of the things I did at the beginning of the year is I printed out my QuickBooks, and I looked at everything I spent on advertising, and I looked at how much of it was print. And I made the decision, and it's a very personal decision, but I made the decision that we weren't going to do print advertising anymore. That we were going to take all of that money, and I don't think any of my competition's in the room, so I'll be happy to tell you, it was probably about $25,000, $30,000 annually, and I was going to take all that money, and I was going to completely switch to anything electronic, internet, mobile, website. You know, I'm with BPA AIT Services. I would highly recommend them. They're an incredibly professional group of people. But I made the switch. And so I will tell you one great thing that came out of that real quick. I see you have a question. Is that a couple weeks ago, I was able to say no to 3 different people, and I saved myself $1,500. And it was because I had the plan in place, you know, and so I knew when that time came around, we're in college towns, we do a lot of college coupon things. We kind of decided that maybe that wasn't the most effective. Maybe we were going to start using Twitter. Maybe we were going to start using mobile text messaging. We were going to try and switch some things up to target specific markets. So I had a week come along where 3 different people asked me if I wanted to renew, and I said no 3 times. I saved $1,500. Like, that's cool. That's empowering. So, did you have a question?
It was more of a comment with LinkedIn, going back to LinkedIn. Another good thing about LinkedIn, too, is you can post comments just like you do on Facebook. And you have followers, and so like for if you use Hootsuite, I don't know if people are familiar with Hootsuite, you can actually post the same things on Facebook and LinkedIn. So that's another benefit of having a business page on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and there are all kinds of awesome apps out there. If you don't think you have time to schedule your Facebook, you can now schedule with Facebook, but you can also use Hootsuite, and for a minimal fee, you can schedule everything. You can also use LinkedIn Contacts, which is a good one because it pulls all your contacts into one spot. My favorite one is Perch, because if you go use the Perch app, you can type in any, you know, related local business that you may want to follow on a daily basis, and you can keep track with Perch of what other similar businesses in your area are posting on their Facebook pages and their tweets. So I love the competitive nature, I think, of social media.
Yep. Are there any questions, other questions? Is there anything that you wanted us to cover that you felt like we may not have talked about today? Yes, there's one here and one here.
There you go. You mentioned mobile text messaging. How do you get into that?
Carrie, you want to talk about mobile text messaging?
Yes, correct. Mobile text messaging, there's services through BPA has a service, approved service. My company does that as well. We do a lot of text messaging campaigns. You basically have to sign with a company. You can't do it on your own. You have to be with a company because they're the ones that have the relationships with Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, all those companies. So you have to use them. You have to go through someone in order to do it. It's pretty inexpensive, quite frankly. If you do it properly and actually use it, it can be really effective. We had one center that put 700 numbers in their list in 30 days by using some tools to do that. So you can build it quickly. And with text messaging, then you're able to go outbound to people, you know, right on their phone, as we saw talk earlier, I think on one of the slides on text messaging. You also got a 96% read rate, and that's read rates in the first couple of minutes. If your phone goes off the text, what do? You pick it up and you look at it, you probably think it's a kid or a kid or something. So it gets read real quickly. So text messaging is really blossoming right now. There's booths on the trade show floor. You can see BPA, you can see B in my booth as well, over by Pepsi.
Okay.
Joe Laspina's here. Joe, raise your hand. He's in the back room. He's our chair of technology. Anything you want to add to that, Joe? Okay.
That was my struggle.
So again, we have the Bullet Doctor, eBolt.biz. He has a booth there. If you go to the BPA booth, there will be, what's it called, 370, 37, That's another booth that will be in the BPA area, and I believe there's another provider too.
Go ahead.
Sorry. We're in the process, working with our local IT company, of putting in a new system where our wireless, in order for them to use our wireless, they have to like our Facebook page. It requires them. That's the only way they can get into our wireless. I was wondering if anybody else has done that yet. We haven't started it, but it's coming up soon.
Is Heath in the room? Heath?
Yeah, he's here.
Heath? You want to talk about Wi-Fi? I know that's BPA is rolling that out, right?
Let me give it. I'll get that mic.
Yeah, so Wi-Fi is definitely something that you might want to consider providing free in your center, but you don't want to do it with your regular routers that you already have. And there's going to be at least one company on the trade show floor called the Wi-Fi company, and they will hook up a router that will allow you to be able to not only provide free Wi-Fi, but collect your customers' data as a result. So they put in really cool things like it's a sign-up form to start with, and then you can put in like a leak sign-up form, some already sign-up things. You can have ads that are injected into the screen automatically, a little bar that's sitting across the top. So if you have a second or two, come by the BPA Web Services booth, and I'll take you over to the guy, and you can get a little demo and see what it's all about.
We have a few tweet questions. We want to try to get some of those in, so we're going to do those just a minute, and then we'll come back to those questions just for a second. I've kind of looked through them, and I'm grouping several of them together because they're kind of the same question. The first one that I had several that came in like this. This was, how do you handle negative social media responses posted to a page, and then also Yelp, how to best handle complaints on Yelp and other things like that. And if it's okay, I want to say something about that because I've had a few, and it's the best opportunity that you have. If you have negative responses on your social media page, it is the most important thing to answer those complaints and answer them in a good way and try to help them, and also provide personal contact information on that, and show that, let other people who see that bad review see that you've responded it in a positive way. Never delete those posts, because if you do, you're going to make that person really mad and they're going to start posting over and over. So it's really important to respond in a positive way. Try to have them give you their personal information, and ask them to send you a private message with their contact information so that you can call them and work out the problem. And I've found that every time I've done that, they went and deleted their own negative message. Now, Yelp is a little different, because Yelp has reviews that you can't really delete unless you go to Yelp and have them delete them. You can definitely respond, and it's very important especially to respond to the negative ones. In fact, Yelp says on their page not really to respond to the good comments. Have you seen that? When I went on my page, it says don't necessarily respond to all the good comments, but definitely respond to the negative ones. Make sure that people know that you are watching your page, that you're responding, and that you're trying to help solve the problem. Is there anybody that wanted to add to that?
Yeah, that's the upside of going and claiming your Yelp page, is that you can go into Yelp for Business and respond. You can respond privately in an email, or you can respond publicly. My personal rule is you respond publicly once, and then if they don't contact you, then you can respond privately in an email. Yelp has this weird phenomenon that Carrie and I were talking about, is for some unknown reason, people will pop onto Yelp and give you, a not so great review, and then never go back. I had one guy who given me, made some comments, and I went in, very professional, very on the up and up, taking it as an opportunity. He didn't reply in 3 months, and his reply was, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm not on Yelp very much." Then why did you come back to me?
Yeah.
Because you put it out there in the stratosphere.
And Yelp is free. Claim your page for free. How many of you got a call from Yelp asking you to spend money on Yelp?
Yeah.
Yelp company called. Yeah. How many of you actually paid them?
We did.
Good call. Yeah. You don't need to do that. Don't throw $320 a month at Yelp because they say you have to, because you don't.
I'll give this right back to Andy, but whatever you respond, again, it's important to look at your page a bunch, or have somebody look at it, respond back in a timely fashion. Don't let a week or two lapse. I've seen that, and that's like the killer.
Okay, yeah, right here.
Yeah, my question was about Yelp, because we did just have them into our facility last week or 2 weeks ago, and we felt like they were putting a gun to our head to to have control of our page.
You do not have to do that.
So you can do anything that without their...
You can post your own pictures, you can claim your own page, you can even post your own tips. I post my own tips. Like when we opened a pro shop, I posted a picture and a tip. You do not have to do that.
So nothing changes whether you own the page or not?
You need to claim your page.
Whether you claim the page or not?
You can have access to the backside business admin, for sure. And
Okay.
another little trick about negative reviews, because I think one of our tweets was about, another one was about negative reviews. Go in and look at your competitors' Facebook pages and Yelp pages. Go in and look at their reviews. You can be surprised at how they respond to their reviews. I mean, honestly, I have been shocked. You will be surprised. And it will just further motivate you to take the high road the next time you get that one.
Okay. Yep.
I will say in response to the Yelp question, the only thing that they actually will do for you if you pay them is they will make sure that your competitor is not listed on your same page when someone comes in to look at you. I did it for 3 months. I negotiated down with them. I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do. I did it for 3 months. My Yelp visits actually went down during the time I was paying for Yelp, which they mark, and I was able to go back and say, look, it's not worth my ROI. So I'm done.
There's a lot of chatter out there about that whole pressure they put on
Right.
people, Yelp, and just say no. Just say, no, thank you.
Now, I did have another friend who said that when he said no, he noticed a lot more negative reviews popping up on his page. But I haven't noticed anything. I think it's...
We have a question in the back, but while we're walking that way, I'm going to check a couple of these Twitter questions, and there's a couple that I can group again. One question that comes up is, what is a Facebook Manager app? How should I use this to administer my Facebook page? And in addition to that is, how do I add another Facebook page manager? Just, do we want to cover that or real quickly?
With the manager app?
Yeah, the app.
On your phone, so you can monitor the page from your phone as a page, as an administrator.
Yeah.
Without having to go to your computer.
It's just basically another app, and I find it more helpful because I don't have to switch back and forth from page. When you're in your regular Facebook app, you kind of have to switch back and forth from your personal page to your, and sometimes you can have your personal page post the wrong thing. So the Facebook Manager actually lets you know that you're on the Facebook page that you're wanting to post to, and it also gives you your insights there. I don't know if we can't really show it on the screen because it's an app, but the way to add another page to that is just click on, there's like a little button up in the left corner, you just click on there and it says add a page. If somebody wants to come to me afterwards, I'll show you how to do that. It's hard to show without having it on the screen. Yeah, come to the kiosk.
It's awesome for managing your page on the go.
Yeah, and I wanted to, just because you mentioned that, at the trade show floor, we are going to have a social media booth set up. Do we know the booth number?
It's right in front of the BPA area when you walk in.
It's in the front at the BPA area. We're going to have a kiosk. You can come ask us questions specific to you, what you're looking for. Come visit us. We have a charging station if you need to charge your phone on the trade show floor. We have more of these brochures, which I wanted to mention. Bowling Music Network sponsored the printing of these, so make sure you go visit their booth as well. And so there's a question in the back.
Before the question, if you're too shy, because we're going to look at a couple of other pages from centers from you out here in the audience if you want us to look at it. But if you're too shy to have us look at it here, we'll look at it at the kiosk.
I just started doing the business part of the Facebook. I actually had to fight for the original Facebook page. And I started off, when I first started doing the Facebook, it was a regular Facebook page. I've been doing the business part for less than a year. I have no clue what I'm doing. I am computer illiterate. I was wondering if maybe you could look at it.
Call Carrie.
Yeah, come sit in the trade show.
She's with Iceland. Do we want to?
Yeah, you definitely want help. If we have two pages, is that correct? You have a personal profile page, a business page. So the first page you started with, the personal profile page. So if you have a page where you have friends on your business page, that's not a business page. That is technically against Facebook policy. You can read the fine print, which I know we never do. The fine print says that Facebook can delete that page and all of its content without further notice. If you're a business, you have to have a business page. You can take your profile page and migrate it to a business page, then you'll have 2 business pages, and then you can merge those 2 business pages together and have everybody on one page.
That'll be a great start. We have 2 really good questions that I need to answer.
Go ahead, answer. Go ahead, Joe.
The Twitter questions? Okay, we'll get right to you in just one second. We have 2 really good questions that I think really need to be answered, and one is it okay to use bowling-related movies stills to promote on Facebook, or is that an issue with copyright? Who wants to handle that one?
To use bowling-related?
Bowling-related stills and videos on your Facebook page, sharing them.
If you're sharing them, that's great. If you go up and just steal it from somewhere, that's bad. You get a call from an attorney, especially if it has any images anywhere on it.
You need to give credit if you're using someone's...
If it's public domain information you're sharing, that's up there. You hit the share button, it shares on your page, it shows where it came from, you're fine. But just ripping off images, you want to get some DP, has tons of images, you get the DPA, or you go to a service where you buy them, they're pretty cheap, you can buy images. But don't get caught stealing someone's professional image, because they have lots of attorneys. And how many have ever got a call from Getty or one of those companies about images? Yeah, there's some hands up. Well, those ask those guys raise their hands, how much that cost them?
And then the other question, sorry. One question.
$900, I bought it for $1.
Another $900 if I wanted to continue to do it.
He paid $900 for the rights to use the image that he borrowed without permission, and then they charged him another $900 to keep using that image. So go to a service like iStock or all the services for $1 until you can buy an image, and then you own the rights to it.
I got this question twice, and I'm going to answer it really quickly because there's one other. Because we as a social media committee decided that Facebook was the best place to start if you don't have a social media presence. The question was, what's the best platform to use to reach your guests? We as a committee felt that Facebook is the right one. So I'm going to move on from that one to what's the difference between having friends and likes? And this is very important because if you're having friends, you're on the wrong page. So who wants to handle that? Carrie?
Touched on that a little bit. Yeah, if you have friends on your business page, you have the wrong page. You have a profile page. You need to get that migrated to a business page. It moves everybody over. Then they're fans. They like your page because then you're on a business page. Then you can run ads. You can do boosted posts. You can do insights to see who's on your page. So you don't want to have likes is okay. Friends is okay on your personal page, not on your business page.
Yeah, for those of you that don't use Facebook, there's several kinds of pages on Facebook. There's a profile, which is a individual person. It's called a profile. That's where you put your picture. There's pages, which are businesses or organizations. There are groups, which is what our Facebook group that we asked you to join today. It's a closed group that only people that have asked to join can be in that group, and no one outside of that group can see it if you've made it private. You can make a group public, but typically groups, people use them to share ideas within a certain kind of group.
Yes, there is. That's what I was trying to explain. The question is, if you have the wrong page, if you have a business page and you have friends on your page, it's actually a personal profile page. It's called a migrate tool. Facebook has. Come by the booth of the show. I'll give you the link and show you how to do that. You can migrate all those people from friends onto a new business page and all become fans of the page. It doesn't move the photos over, but it moves all the people over. We've done lots of those. So there is a way to do that now. And you definitely want to do that if you're in that boat.
Excuse me? Say that again? We have a question back there. Did you have something to add to that? Or no, I didn't hear. Okay, go ahead.
You guys covered a lot of ground today. One of the things that I didn't hear was the use of offers. It's a very good tool on there that you pay for, but it does have one of the few things Facebook has that's tangible. People can bring their claimed offer to you, so you can have a measurement of return. So it's a really good tool. It's easy to use, and it's it's on all those business pages. So offers and events.
Yeah, many of the social media platforms that you might use, whether it's Facebook or Foursquare, do have offers where when people check in, Yelp also has them. When you check into a location like your bowling center, people can receive a discount or whatever it might be that you put up there. It could be a free item or something like that. The offers are really good. I haven't used one. Sorry. Go ahead, Carrie.
That's a great question. In bowling, we don't have an online store. A lot of companies obviously have an online store where you go on and buy stuff. When you do that, you can track exactly where they came from your Facebook page, your online store, where they completed the sale. It's really easy to measure ROI. And bowling, because we don't sell something, they just buy online and have it delivered by FedEx to them. You're really trying to make your center visible, because bowling to a large extent is kind of invisible to the general public. They just don't come across bowling every day like they do everything else. So the intention of Facebook is to make it more visible. So the shot we showed earlier of the insights, 1,500 people seeing content every day from a center, it puts it right in front of them every day. So a direct ROI, like you can with a shopping cart, like an Amazon shopping cart or something, or PayPal, it's difficult to do that. What you can do is tell yourself, okay, I put my center in front of lots of people every single day. They're seeing my center and content from my center.
Well, I can I guess disagree just a little bit. In Oregon, what we did is we put Kids Bowl free on Facebook for the whole state out of all the centers that were set up with that. And with that, you clicked on it, you went through to the Kids Bowl free website, and you signed up Kids Bowl free online, and then you got their email addresses and ability to market them. And I have a small center, 14 lanes, but we had over 1,000 kids sign up in our Facebook campaign of 2 months. We combined all the centers together and put the money together, and it worked out real good. And we got results from that, which put people in our centers with that program. And a lot of them have it. So we were, in Oregon, we were happy with that program.
You can promote certain events somewhere. I want your numbers of that event go up. We're promoting Quartermania, Kids Bowl free. But as far as the question about a direct correlation to dollar ROI, it's tough to do. But Mark's exactly correct. You can do things like the Kids Bowl free. We do a lot of posts for that on pages and pay for them and watch the numbers to soar. They're going to assume it came from that because that's the only thing that you did different this year versus last year, right?
Right.
So
we're going to take 2 more questions and then I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Other questions, please? Okay, we've got 1 and then 2, both on your side, Colin.
Mine is more of a recommendation, really. I believe that most of the tech-savvy people here are aware of it, but this goes to people who are new to this social media. We have to be extremely careful who we hire as a community manager to do our social media, because there's many people who we hire and we don't know about it, but they buy the followers and the likes from fake accounts. They're not real accounts, and those accounts have no activity at all. We might look at our likes growing and the followers growing from one day to another, but it's just an illusion because it's not even working because the accounts have no activity at all. Make sure all of your new followers and new likes on your pages come from people who have activity and have posts oftenly and have good activity going on.
That's a great point. And not only that, but even on your personal page, I get a lot of people requesting to be my friend. Unless I know them right out of the gate, I click on their name to see who they are and where they're from and who the mutual friends are before I even think about pressing that button that says accept or decline. So those are great points. Same thing on LinkedIn. We have another question over here.
Yes, when you go on, somebody goes online to Google or wherever you want to do, and they type in bowling, and up comes, and I see this Yelp thing or whatever about, they say, hey, I had a bad experience at your bowling center. This is going to really sound crazy. How do you get good reviews on your bowling center? Do you tell your customer that's in there, hey, thanks for stopping by, really enjoyed us. Please go online and let everybody know.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can even make...
And we've talked about Yelp, and, one of my centers paid for it, the other one didn't, but they always send you an envelope and it's got that Yelp sticker on there. You can put that somewhere in your door so that your guests can see it.
You can also,
and they'll give you shameless plugs too.
You can also make little cards or something that you can hand out with your receipts and say, hey, give us a good review on Yelp. We'd really appreciate it. Or give them a bowling pass and say, hey, go give us a good review. Or not necessarily ask them for a good review, just ask them for a review, because you don't want to well, I guess you do want a good but I mean, you really do want to know the truth. I mean, if somebody's having a bad experience, you want to be able to address it. And hopefully you're addressing them in the center, but you could put cards at the front counter that say, hey, give us a good review and, we'll give you a game or something. I don't know.
It's also opportunity. If you're working with groups and you've got that relationship with your group organizer anyway, if they've had a great experience, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking them to just rate their experience and be sure and, mention it online. I have no problem with that. Birthday parties, you should be doing that,
Put it in your email marketing. If you're sending out emails, put it at the bottom. Give us a review on Yelp if you have email marketing.
I've just noticed when I've gone there, usually, sometimes I'll check out the other bowling centers in the neighborhood, and usually what you see on Yelp, most of the times, it's a negative review instead of a positive review.
But that's an opportunity for you to turn
so I
into-
sure don't have a problem asking my customers, hey, you had a good time, give us a good review.
You bet. And like we've said, even if they give you a bad review, Robin just said it's an opportunity. I'd like to wrap this up. We have all these people. First of all, this committee has just finished its second year. It was a brand new committee. And it's been an honor leading these fine folks. And we have others that are here in the room that I want to recognize. Amy Eisenman, if you'd stand up, please. Juliet Ridgway, Mark Manichek, they're both towards the back. Who else is here? Colin is the education chair. He's been in every virtual conference call as well as everything else. Scott Pollard is here. Scott, where are you at? Okay. Scott, there you go. Joe Laspina is chair of the Technology BPA. That's a new committee the past 2 years. So this has been a great cross-section of people from all over the country as well as one from Canada. For any of you that want to get more involved with BPA and you want to become a committee person, I don't care whether you're 21 years old or whether you're 75 years old. If you've never gotten involved, you get out of this what you put into it. And I've been doing this for 20 years. It's a great experience. So we want to thank all of you for coming. Before you leave, please make sure you either fill out the survey, return it to the gentleman in the back, or use your QR code.
Yeah.
And make sure you come see us in the booth. And again, if you did not go hashtag Bowling Goes Social, please do that as well as asking to join our Facebook page, BPA Social Media.
And we will.
Happy birthday, John Harbuck.
And we will try to answer those tweet questions on Twitter as well.
Thank you all very much. Have a great, don't forget there's a luncheon coming up too now. Thank you all very much.